In this episode of Positive Mindset, I'm going to discuss Plan B and a half. Now let me explain. Welcome to this episode of Designer Mindset. My name's Teresa Lindsay, and today we're going to cover a decision-making tip that will change your life. Usually, we get the examples of either one thing or another is how we have to decide between this or between that. And at some point, you're going to have to determine what to do with this fork in the road. I'm going to make a recommendation for changing your perspective to look for what I call B and a half. There are times where we're in this challenge situation, a conversation, and it's going to be important that we can make up our mind about what we want. So I've come to this really great cross called Plan B and a half that during an experiment, I actually had to use this technique. Here's my example. So there's a parenting schedule, two sets of parents, obviously trying to take on responsibilities and accountabilities for their children. Also behind them are two more people with their schedules. This gets really complicated. Now, for both partners to come to decision making, we actually had to look at one example presented by one and another presented by the other parties. What was then decided was I wasn't getting anywhere with this. The best thing I should do was actually ask if we could just hold the conversation for a week so I could do some research. And that's exactly what we did. By taking the time out to do just these little moments of research and ask everyone to put their life on pause, what I was able to do was find something in the middle, a calendar that was a unique scheduling calendar that met everyone's requirements. This is incredibly important. It wasn't this or that. It was that I was actually deliberately trying to plan a possibility that no one had yet thought of. So I went and I took the process, did the homework, and learned about the variations. This is an important skill to have in life. You're often felt like a teacher has an opinion or your partner has an opinion, and those are the two options you have. Really, there's an alternative. It's the B and a half. Sometimes having only two options can blindside you, and this really makes it hard to make a decision. There is also a case where in an emergency, right in the middle of something on fire, you do have to decide. But we're not talking about that. This is a situation where you're taking a few days to set aside some time, contemplate, and come back mentally prepared with a positive idea or outcome that will benefit everyone. And it's really important to take into consideration the most important people in that time. In this case, it was the children. So this tool is helpful, and I call it Plan B and a half, instead of just committing to A or B. Then you look for what is in there as an opportunity no one is discussing. It's a thought. It's something that is alternative to whatever has been thought before now. This is you investigating on your purpose in life and meeting everyone's expectation and really accentuating being creative about how to solve the problem, not what everyone else is thinking. I've also found that if you can't decide between Plan A and Plan B, like for example, you can't decide if you want to marry Bob or Harry, or it's going to be taking to a vacation in Hawaii where it's warm, or taking to a vacation in Colorado, there are moments when we can actually give pause and deliberate and back up the time just to recalculate the purpose for which we're actually doing this one thing. And that's the why. In BY, we cover why we're doing something. And that's an excellent video to go back and take a look at right now. Sometimes we have intention, and that intention means we then can come to a better resolution. Figuring out the intention in our Be Intention video would also be a benefit by watching that and then trying to make an important decision. Use it as a tool for yourself, whether it's A or B. See if you can find something that for yourself will help you do the research or reconsider what should be your next move. The possibility to give something or someone a little more time makes all the difference. We live in a world where there are lots of conveniences, too convenient for the matter of process. What we need to give to get better options out of life by giving things time. If everything were immediate, we'd be in panic mode. For example, let's say you're thirsty and right in front of you is a soda machine, and you'd like to make a decision as to whether or not that's a healthy choice. Down the road, there's a grocery store with bottles of water and plenty of food. You could then go home and make yourself a really great meal. And for the betterment of your own health, make a better option. By taking something that's convenient, you have now negated part of the process to improving your life and their state of being. This is where you can also benefit from ketosis by not eating right away. However, if you're diabetic or you have a medical condition, that is something other than what we're discussing today. It's important to realize that if you have another plan that you can figure out in the process of decision making, you will be better off for taking a little time to consider it. So in the example we have, we're actually using this process to do something better for ourselves. Instead of that spontaneous soda, we're actually going to take time to go down the road, get some water, get a meal, and do something better for ourselves instead of inducing our bodies with toxins and sugars, processed foods, and things that aren't healthy. We're actually then leading a way out of our situation that's probably our biggest worry, like weight or feeling unhealthy. These are better choices. This is something that is involved with a process and gives you better quality of life. And instead of looking for A or B, what you're doing is trying to find something in the middle to prove that in this process, you're going to create what is a better situation for you. And in that time, whether it's 2 hours or 2 years or 2 minutes, you're going to shift that one thing that happens to better yourself. And someone is going to give you a great idea or some other inspiration is going to happen in that time while you're in process. So from our original videos, this is where you're taking the time to do the morning routine for yourself over those 30 days and then apply it with your positive mindset to things and situations like this. Your attitude and a positive intention will then become a great inspiration. You'll stop complaining and saying things that are negative, and this will also create a great shift for you in your life. Then you'll know how to make the right decision, and I know you can do it. So, as part of my wrap-up, I want to say sleep on it, think about it, and research it. That way you look for the B.5 in your life. All right, if you found something in this video that you liked, please comment below and let me know what it was. I'd hope to produce more videos similar to this one. As well, hit the subscribe button and the bell. That way you'll be notified as one of the first people when I have a new video released. Each week I will put out something interesting and inspiring. And also share it with someone you know might need to hear this today. My name is Teresa Lindsay. This is Designer Mindset. Do not forget that what you feed your mind feeds your future.